Today we're doing a day in the life of a full-time content creator. By the way, my name's Chris and this is Video Society. This is a channel that I'm starting kind of just like to just do raw content to show you guys that like being a full-time content creator like doesn't have to be all fancy, and it's honestly like super realistic. And also it's the best/easiest job on the planet. I cannot preach to all my friends that like this is like, if you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel as far as like this being the best job ever, it is. So yes, this is a day in the life. What I usually do is I get up around whatever time I want, honestly, unless I have to bring my daughter to school, but it's actually summertime. So she kind of just stays home and just does her thing. She's getting to that age where she needs to be entertained a lot. Probably too much, but as she gets older, it gets a little easier. And what I tend to do is my girlfriend goes off to work and she gets a little jealous because I get to stay home and do whatever I want, but she didn't pick the best job in the world. She picked being a nurse. So, but honestly, we need nurses in this world. So what I'm trying to say is you kind of create your own schedule. So I tend to get up, I get dressed, you know, I tend to my daughter, I'll bring her to school if it's during the school year. And what I'll do is I get home and I essentially will make some breakfast, you know, I'll let the dog out. What I try to do is honestly try to help out with some chores with my woman, because I do understand that I have the best job in the world. You know what I mean? And I try to be a good man and help out with that type of stuff. So once I get to work, what I tend to do is just go to my little cubicle office over here. It is my favorite part of the whole house here. And it's just a little bedroom here that I created, a little studio here. I have a cool fish tank over here in the corner as well. Hopefully you guys can see that. I have this cool background. A lot of people ask if it's fake. It's not, but honestly, it's so easy to make. And when you do a lot of like tech videos, or just if you do a lot of videos, you need to have a cool background in your house, because doing the whole fake background with green screens, it's kind of crappy. You know what I mean? And then what I tend to do here is I get on emails, you know what I mean? So let's flip this for a second here. By the way, here's my Facebook. If you guys want to reach out, check me out on Facebook. This is videosociety.co. You can check that out. What I'll tend to do is kind of just get into Facebook, and a lot of stuff happens in emails, and I just kind of just start, I don't mean to brag, but I wake up to probably 5 to 10 sponsorship emails every single day. And sponsorships aren't really a big deal when it comes to my income. So a lot of content creators are saying that sponsorships are like 60% of them. I find that dealing with sponsorships are extremely annoying because they need just a set criteria. They're like, let's jump on a meeting for an hour and talk about how we want to restructure how you do all your videos and what we need out. It's just like, I don't know, if you're to the point where like you're at the mercy of doing sponsorships, it's just not for me though, because like I'm such a free person to where it's just like, dude, I want to do the video how I want to do it. And it didn't do well at the beginning because like I needed money. It took me a while to kind of like learn how to make money. And it was like in other things like ad revenue. And I'm just like, dude, I don't want to be at the mercy of these sponsorships. And that's some advice to you. You know, like sponsorships can suck. You know, maybe you find the right sponsorship that really works for you, but through the years doing this, sponsorships are annoying unless usually they become less annoying when you have like a huge giant following. Like if you have 1 million subscribers, they're gonna be like, please work with us. Here's 30 grand. But the chances are that's not reality. And I don't have 1 million subscribers. I have like a dozen channels, and they're around, the largest ones are around 100,000 subs. One of them has 600,000 subs, but none of that really matters. What I'm trying to say here is that I think that sponsorships are annoying, and sometimes if you're at the beginning of your stage of being a content creator, take them, you know, do what you need to. But a lot of times I find that they want to reform the video like entirely in a different way. You guys got to check out my little French bulldog here. He's so cute. Look at it. He just sleeps all day. What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? Say hello to the camera. You just sleep all day, buddy. You got the easiest job in here. Yeah, that's my daughter's pup. But most of my revenue I have found through affiliate marketing, and that is essentially by selling things and being a middleman. And what I'm trying to do with this channel here is essentially just try to shed light on the ultra realistic reality of being a full-time content creator, that like any normal Joe can do this. And I used to be I used to work crappy jobs, blue collar jobs. I've worked graveyard shifts in warehouses. I've worked as a delivery driver, as a mechanic at like a junkyard, all kinds of stuff. The crappiest. I worked at a bakery. And I'm just telling you guys, and I'm saying this because I think anyone can do this. And as long as you put like the correct effort where it needs to be, I think you do have to be into video somewhat, or photography, whichever avenue you go to. I think you have to be into it, but I'm just saying you don't have to be super special. My house isn't super fancy, and what I'm trying to do here is push a different style of lifestyle for people that, showing you guys being free is better than having a huge, rich house that's worth $1 million and a Lambo. You know what I mean? Because I have zero debt and, I drive a cool car, but it's not like anything, like I don't need a Lambo or anything crazy like that. And I think I want to teach you guys that like, this is the ultra realistic way that it can be done. And it doesn't matter the platform you're going on, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, whatever, it's kind of all the same. All the monetization levels or the methods are all the same. And I just kind of want to shed light on that. So if you guys connect with that or resonate with it, hit subscribe and then join the communities down below. And yes, there are courses to help people, but you don't have to get the courses. I really don't care if you do or don't. I'm more or less looking for some friends in the creator space that are interested in learning this stuff and want to connect. I'm just a video nerd, and I'll be honest with you, I'll be vulnerable here. I kind of struggle finding friends that are into this same stuff here in Minnesota. I really love living and breathing video, business, and becoming financially free and becoming healthy. And it feels really normal to me, but I can't seem to find people that are into this stuff. A lot of people aren't into video or just like, and I get it. If you're not into video, that's totally cool. Like, I'm not going to hate, but I'm looking for friends that are, and we can talk about it. You know what I mean? So without further ado, this is a day in the life. I wake up, essentially you can kind of write your own schedule. I do want to give a caveat. I learned this really early in the beginning because what happens is, most beginners, the biggest mistake that most beginners make with content creation is that they do not upload enough videos. And I know that there's, a lot of the advice is concentrate on quality versus quantity, but I kind of disagree with this because if you're pumping out quantity, the quality is actually going to follow. As long as you push yourself to get better every video, a little bit, right? And this isn't hard, really. Like, I'm talking to a camera right here, and there's no scripting. I'm just kind of moving around a lot. I know that if I'm not going to do much editing, that I need to move around a lot because a lot of people want things to look at. So if you're not doing a lot of B-roll, and I learned this along the way, what I'm trying to say is that you need to publish way more than you think you do. And every single day, more and more people are uploading videos. And to stand out, you need to upload a lot of videos. Like last week, I think I published, probably like 10 tech videos. And people are like, wow, how would you do 10 tech videos? It's just like, dude, systems have taught me how to get better, and I created systems to do more. Alex Hormozy says they upload 400 pieces of content a week. That's just an example, crazy example. But I think you need to upload way more than you think. And for example, I tell a lot of my students that pay for coaching that I find that a lot of YouTube channels don't see much for results until they hit that like 70 to 100 video span. And they're like, 100 videos? And it's like, yes. And not only that, a lot of people have multiple channels. Like I have a friend with a TikTok account, and he's growing like crazy, but he's not making a lot of money, and he's learning the lesson that views don't always equate to dollars. So there's just a lot of hard lessons here. You're gonna have to learn how to sell through affiliate marketing or just sell products, because video, is views, but views doesn't equate to you getting paid. Hopefully that makes sense. And that's one thing that I learned. And what I'm trying to say here is when you're doing what you don't realize is that you're gonna have to upload so many damn videos that it's gonna blow your freaking mind. And that's what I had to realize. So a lot of times I'm working my tail off, because when you go out on your own as an entrepreneur and run your own business, you get into like a fight or flight. We all kind of have this entrepreneurship. And now I've gotten to the point where I've worked so vigorously that I get probably 1.5 million views just on YouTube in long form video on just like educational style content by itself. So I think that like all that hard work will eventually pay off. So guys, join the community, Video Society. I'm just a nerd that loves this stuff. We're into photography, video, and that's essentially it. We have groups with hundreds of thousands of members, so this isn't like some small, inclusive little club. Just throwing that out there. I'm gonna quit rambling. I know this is kind of a weak sauce day in the life, but I do feel like I gave you guys some really good tidbits. I get up and I just shoot a lot of video. Like, you're looking at it, a lot of people think that with YouTubing and being a content creator, that there's crazy shots and stuff like this. For a lot of my videos, I'm doing software tutorials. Why? Because software pays so much. And I find myself doing more and more of that because I find the money's there. Or 3D printing, my 3D printing channel, super dorky. And I just take little videos of like these 3D printers, but that's what works. You know what I mean? So guys, without further ado, please subscribe to the channel. My name's Chris, this is Video Society. I'm just a nerd trying to meet some more friends. Join up. If not, cool. Hit me up in the comments. All right guys, later.